cartoon kind of 12 frames per second, my first one in a while. I'm Hype. Hello, I'm Kraken. With me today, for the fourth time today, that is...
I have been in a lot of FPSs today. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm fine. Uh, Hi, I'm Babble.
Alright, and today this game is called Brothers in Arms. No, we have not
Indeed.
introduced our characters yet, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Babble. Babble, where are we?
Ah. See, yes. Yes is good. So, we are off the right-hand coast of Ghibli. On one of those little marshy islands that, right next to the ocean. With a similar lighthouse, surprisingly, to those of you who have watched Scrubby Dubby Duckies at the Salt Pier Port, to the lighthouse down there. Only difference is that this one is actually lived in and yellow. And in the middle of a fucking island. But yeah, it's a little bit marshy and mushy because it rained recently, and thus, the island was kind of secluded from the rest of the mainland. If anybody has seen The Woman in Black, it's basically that kind of island, right next to the mainland. When the tide comes in, everything surrounding it cuts it off from the rest of Ghibli.
Fantastic.
And,
do we want to start with your character or mine?
You know what? Whichever. Like, I'm down either way.
Alright. We'll say then that the island you've set up, this is inconvenient for one Leon Mobel, because it makes coming up to this island, to this lighthouse, it makes it annoying.
That was entirely the point. It's very clear that the person who lives here does not want to be found.
Yeah, I think he grokks that, and he's just further annoyed. Because there's no docks set up, I assume. It's all marshy, radiating outwards, so the draft for the Barker to come in anywhere close is extremely limited. He basically has to anchor out a good far chunk away, take a small boat in to get further shallow water, and then he basically just has to walk through this marsh to get to the damn lighthouse.
I mean, there is a road that leads from the shore to the little island bit. I mean, it's a little mushy, but like that's a lot better than actually taking a small boat and then walking through the marsh.
Now, me having said all that, I think I need to roll to see if Leon finds the path. That's going to be survival.
You know what? Go for it.
Listen, this is a dog on a mission. One track mind. He just sees lighthouse, he's going for it.
Leon, you don't.
Even if he spots it near the end, he's already done this the hard way. He's just going to finish it the same way. God.
I love it. I love it so much. I am living.
So this is how tall is this dog? At least close to 6 feet, if not that, but most primarily broad, big.
Still not as big as his dear old dad.
No one's going to quite achieve that. Listen, it's just always going to kind of be in the shadow. But all right. Sorry, I'm losing track of mine. There's stuff going on out here. But this dog is a little waterlogged at this point on the lower half and stomping up the now path to the actual lighthouse. And he's just going to do 3 big knocks.
All right. You hear some kind of talking inside. Before you hear the very slow kind of pat, pat, pat of someone walking with heavy steps towards the door and the tapping of a cane against the wood. Eventually, someone opens the door, and it's a very familiar face that you haven't seen in a while, but, do you want to make a perception check, bud?
Boy, he sure does. Oh, yeah. 19. What's he see?
It's your dear little brother, James Judd. And, for one thing, when he looks up and he sees your face, let me make a deception. Oh.
Listen, it's phenomenal that this guy has managed to wait at the door waiting for this penguin to potter over and actually open it.
That's a 21.
Interesting.
He looks a bit grouchy, but that's all you can glean from that. But he also looks old. There's gray feathers speckled everywhere, more particularly around his muzzle, where his beak connects to the rest of his face. And his hair, which is short now, where it used to be very long, and a little bit wavy, has now been, it's super short. And, yeah, no, he has a cane. He's got something's up with his leg. He looks his age, which you know your little brother to be at least 64.
Brother, the years haven't been good to you, have they? And he's already walking in the door. James can try to stop him. The door opens, Leon is walking in.
He knows perfectly goddamn good and well he can't stop him when he's already walking.
Yeah.
Pleasure to see you too. How did you find me, for one? And,
well,
there's a slam of the door.
Yeah, Leon's not very concerned about that. You didn't make it easy, I'll give you that.
That was kind of
disappeared off the face of the continent.
That was the point. I didn't want to be found. Janet, go upstairs. Well. And, Janet, another 1 foot tall, or 1.5 foot tall, little blue penguin with no eyes and a rounded but still kind of jagged beak, peeks out from the kitchen and then sees Leon and kind of starts darting upstairs.
That was a deception roll from me. Leon cannot hide his surprise. First off, not expecting there to be a child, and as Janet apparently scampers away, head just turns to look down and like very down at James. Is that another one?
That is my only one. You can thank dear Dad for that. And he's starting to walk along to towards the living room. And he bends down next to the fireplace, grabs a log and tosses it in. Might as well make yourself at home, pick a spot. You already walked through my door, tracked in the mud. I'll have to clean that later.
Yeah, on that note, I think Leon does the dog shake to get the mud off him.
Are you serious?
Mud goes everywhere.
I'm gonna have him make this poor dude make a fucking dex check. Oh, cool! Just a straight d20. Do you say that dodges any of it? No.
You know, he's not covered. It's like a middling result. I don't know, like turns and only gets it on the back versus being absolutely covered.
Yeah, that checks out. He wipes what he can off of himself, and there is a distinct grump about him now. Thank you for that. Always a pleasure to see you again.
Not sure you would know. It's been, what is it, 26 years? And Leon is pulling up a seat by the fire, hanging up the coat to dry. Yeah, entirely at home, taking up the space. This dog just is basically taking up space. He lives here now.
Once again, that was the entire point. If you came around, that would mean Dad would come around.
Well, won't you be happy then? Dad can't be coming around. And with that, Leon does lean forward, lean down. It's going to get right up in James's space and basically has to crouch to do that. Because I imagine James is about the same size as taller or shorter than Jackie.
About a whole foot taller than Jackie. Jackie's 1 foot. James is 2 foot.
Yeah, it's still pretty extreme. Always has been this way. Leon's crouching right down on his haunches and getting right in James' face. And somehow, it seems to me you made sure of that. You did something with the ships, didn't you?
Other than built their designs and their blueprints? No.
Well, Leon's doing an insight on that. He doesn't believe you.
I mean, he doesn't have to believe James. And James doesn't give a shit whether or not he believes him.
No, you did something. You made them wrong. There was a flaw somewhere. There is no way that Glacier Rider should have gone down. In no way that Dylan Mobel should have gone down with it. That's just not possible. That's not how it works. So you did something.
Do you really think our dear old dad is indestructible? Infallible?
Close enough. You don't spend that long on the sea to go down to, what did the paper say, a piddly little storm? People get unlucky on the sea. That happens every day. but not someone like Mobel Sr.
The ocean doesn't give a shit who you are. It's gonna take you if it wants. Have you actually been on the sea? Have you seen what's there? Because it's right there. You can go now.
I just came from there. I think I'll do a bit of land time, thanks. He is, I'm not even gonna ruffle it, visibly ruffled by that. You just insulted his pride.
Good.
He lives on the sea. What are you talking about? Gonna go. I wasn't sure you understood that about the ocean, considering what you have a history of consorting with. And he kind of glances upstairs.
You leave my partner and my child out of this. I would have liked to have had my children be out of this long ago.
Well, they won't be dragged in unless you make things difficult, because despite everything, still not Dad. The extermination was his crusade. Water spirits are just like that.
Water spirits are perfectly fine as long as you don't piss them off. I can kind of understand why they might be a little pissed off at Dad. Although I can't explain what happened. And he stops himself. Because he was very clearly about to talk about someone. But then a deep kind of sadness hit him, and he stopped.
It just amazes me that you made the same mistake twice, apparently.
Same mistake twice? I'm sorry, what are we talking about now?
Now,
Please, for my old ears.
is the young one currently upstairs part water spirit or not? Leon honestly can't tell. He wasn't sure.
God, James is so fucking tempted to be an absolute shit. You know what? He's gonna be an absolute shit. No, they're not. No, the fact that they don't have eyes, I can't explain that. You know, they're a normal penguin. I absolutely just... I cheated on my partner. Yep, there's that. Definitely. You don't have to make an insight check. He is being a fucking ass.
Absolutely fantastic. Leon has still been crouching down and talked to James this whole time. It's entirely the, right and wrong way to talk to short people infograph, and he's doing entirely the wrong way. But I think he reaches over James's head, grabs a chair, and just shoves it into him. Just sit down.
You know, I was going to sit down in my armchair over there.
You could have started out with that.
Well, maybe you can shut up for 2
here
minutes.
To have a civil conversation.
Civil, yes, of course. That is definitely something that the Mobel family does. And he moves the chair and makes his way over to his armchair. Sits down in it and sets his cane to the side. Looks like he was hurting. As he rubs his knees.
Yeah, I think Leon's taking note, but he's not addressing that. Isn't giving too much of a shit at the moment. Other things on the mind. James is sitting, going to stay standing, actually. front of the fire and just go. You say you didn't mess with the Glacier Rider's design. Maybe so. Maybe. It took many years for any mistake to show up, but here's the thing. I also don't put much stock in coincidence. And the fact that the only survivors were some lucky otters and, well, he is giving James a bit of a weird look, actually, because he's noting something James said earlier. The only other survivor was your kid. And that's a hell of a coincidence.
My son has never been on the Glacier Rider. I don't understand. He's been here with me since
Not that
the day
one.
that we left the Drifting Cube.
Yeah. Not that one, the other. The one you left. In dear old Dad's care. Didn't know you had it in you.
The one I left in dear old Dad's care. Are you? I'm going to let him take a moment and let's see if he can piece together exactly what the fuck he's talking about. I'm gonna say that this is going to probably be a history. I think he clocks that. And he leans forward as best as he can, and he growls. Jacqueline died before I could come back to the Drifting Cube. There shouldn't be another child. Both my partner and my second child died aboard the Drifting Cube. You're a liar.
Oh, cross my heart, hope to die, little brother. And here I thought you were just pulling a mom and left people behind when shit got tough.
The Drifting Cube got stuck in ice too thick for it to push through. I didn't have a choice but to leave and go get help. But when I came back, I found nothing. My partner, my child, both of them were gone. I thought I know they died. My partner was already sick from the pollution that the gunshot did to them. You know, pollution, swirl, what that does. And Jacqueline was just an egg. When we left the shore, they were just a newly hatched little chick. They couldn't survive the winter on their own. Not there, not where it's freezing cold and oh boy, he's
Babble.
not.
Yeah, boy. What was that?
That was the wisdom. His head is in his hands.
Oh dear, you broke up a bit there, but deception?
No. His, James has his head in his hands. He's...
Babble, are you still there?
Yeah?
Not sure if I'm hearing you.
I'm here. Can y'all hear me? Hold up.
Bunch of fragile stuff. But,
Hello?
hello?
Oh, hello. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but James has his head in his hands. God, he's not okay. He is still devastated, even after all of these years, as to what he believed happened.
Now, has Jackie's face shown up in like any paper pictures at all? Like either relating to the Glacier Rider crash or like the following, what would we call it, Glacier Rider exorcism?
Um, Mobile would have made damn sure that their face didn't show up when it came to before the crash. But it did show up after the initial crash because there is a photo in some very small newspapers of them being taken to the hospital. Because they were the ones that grabbed the otters and dragged them to shore, which is a long way. And there might also be some.
Leon's pulling basically a cutout of that newspaper clip from his fumble space.
Oh.
Oh man.
Boy, oh boy. Where is their perception? His. Alright. +4. He barely kind of like lifts his head from his hands, and he's shaking as he looks at that newspaper clip. Not entirely there enough to really see exactly what it is, and he just looks at Leon like, what the fuck is this? He doesn't say anything, but that's basically the look that he's giving him. And as is tradition, you know, the Mobel family tends to have the cold eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, if James already hasn't taken that bit of newspaper, Leon is giving it to him. Not exactly the news I was expecting to deliver when I came here, but hey, look at me. I'm charitable. Now you know.
Not saying a damn thing, and admittedly being very wary, kinda snatches the newspaper out of his hand, and he's giving it a look over.
Leon's gonna give him a moment to start kind of absorbing this, but while James is still off kilter, lean down, grab the chair kind of from both sides. Just, this is a very big dog and a very small penguin. Lean in, just go. We talked about Glacier Rider. What the heck did you do to Barker?
You're really not having a good day, James. Good, fuck you.
No, I wouldn't think so.
He looks up, baffled, before he's finally able to utter, nothing. I didn't do anything. To either ships. I can't explain either of this. I mean, other than maybe Mobile wasn't giving the Glacier Rider any maintenance. The way that they said that the ship sank, it shouldn't have happened. You are right, it should not have happened. I don't...
All right.
Is the Barker still sailing? That's valid. Internet died, so how's the Nuts and Bolts gallery doing? Y'all doing okay?
Right. Hello?
Hello!
All right. Actually going to switch networks because things were getting dicey for the last 5 minutes there and laggy.
That is
And
pecking
I'm giving up on
valid.
the hotspot. So, back moment. Impromptu break, everybody.
He who time, he who time. Yeah, but Atomic, consider the fact that you actually listen to a lot of Warships live. It's kind of difficult to pull the wool over your eyes when you already know my bullshit. You are well aware of what it is to have a Babble and a Kraken conspiring.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, I'm back and hopefully better than ever.
Hee-hoo, motherfuckers!
Phew, what a suspenseful note we left off on. So the last thing I heard was James denying that anything untoward has been done to the design of either ships, Barker or Glacial Rider.
And he agreed. Wow, what a concept. With Leon on the fact that that shouldn't have happened.
Anyway, James has just denied any sort of fuckery with Barker, aka Leon's ship, aka Leon's baby, lifeblood. Anyway,
And the thing is that
a denial.
he's right there.
Uh-huh.
You know James, Leon. You're right there. You are within arm's reach of being mauled.
Yeah.
He likes to avoid being mauled very clearly. So
Yeah,
why
and see,
would
the
he
thing
lie?
is, Leon's claws are going into the armchair. There will be puncture holes. He's going full intimidation on this, so let's finally use that modifier I love.
Oh, joyous.
I don't know, does a 17 intimidate him?
I don't know, man. Hold on. Let me make a whiz. Whiz save, probably. I mean, it's a d20 either way. Nope. Nope. He's too used to this shit.
As always.
He's seen worse. He's dealt with dear old dad's wrath. He just looks up. Go ahead.
This visibly frustrates Leon. Once again, kind of being shown up by dear old dad. Something is wrong because the ship spat up a piece of vermin and it left, and she has not been running the same since. I don't know what you did that could make this kind of thing happen, but you are going to fix it.
Say that again, but just a little bit slower, and try not to dehumanize a person.
What person?
You said vermin, I'm guessing that... You said vermin, I'm guessing that that is a rat. And,
Yes.
since pretty sure that would probably have been, what, a toon rat? Yes? And he's giving you a inquisitive look, like, am I right in this assumption?
Leon's giving him a look right back with the slightly evasive answer of, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have an idea.
You know what the problem is.
Not necessarily. Remember what I told you. It's that these ships, you cannot give them love. You give them love, they become people. I already put the words. I can fucking word today. Necessary amount of love and effort that should have gone into the ship, but at the very beginning. You're not supposed to give the damn thing love, and it's gonna become a person. I told Mobel this, or Dad, whatever the fuck you want to call him at this point. I told you this.
Leon has gone a little quiet.
Holy shit. Leon Mobel. Capable of love. Even after all of this.
No, shut up.
I don't think
not James. You build ships. You design ships, you make them, but you do not sail them. You don't know what you are talking about. I don't think...
I did sail them.
I don't know if it's love, but not like us. Not like June and I. Not like Dad.
Well, thank God I never did. I can see what it's done to the two of you. James is gonna stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fix shit if I'm in here.
Good. This means I don't have to drag you.
I mean, it's not like I would really make it any easier on you to do so. But keep in mind, I have a child upstairs and I would like to avoid them witnessing too much of a squabble.
Now, as I said, we can keep things civil.
Mm-hmm. And there's that distinct mm-hmm of deep-seated, knowing doubt. Or what he believes it to be. And now he's just walking along. There's a little rowboat.
Oh, fun.
Behind the lighthouse.
Is this rowboat big enough for a dog?
No. It's more so like it's a rowboat that is big enough for like the two penguins. But it also has a stick that can shift through the mud. And James does not look at all concerned as he starts rowing his way. Literally putting a stick in the mud. As he looks back and says to Leon, "Makes me wonder how it is that you got here. All of this marsh around, I don't see a boat for you."
Leon's gonna silently take the path he didn't notice until he was basically on the doorstep.
Oh god, I'm gonna make another whiz. he refrains from laughing. But there is a distinct bastard smirk if Leon was able to catch it at all.
He probably has, but I'll do, what would it be, like perception for the sake of it?
Yeah.
Listen, he knows his brother.
Well,
Dog and penguin tromping along through the marsh. Barker is a pretty obvious figure in the distance, both for being big hunk of steel and yeah, James designed this ship. James had a hand in building. He would know Barker anyway.
I think as he's going up to it, he's going to roll a perception. Just to listen to her rumble. Like, what does her ship sound like from the outside as well? At the very least. That is 22.
All right. So, ship sounds. James, you hear the various rumbling sounds. The motor is off, so that is silent, but there are other things, other systems of the ship that are on. There is a splash of exhaust water coming out of the hull into the water. There is the creak of the anchor chain as it strains on a somewhat long stay. She's anchored pretty firmly. Mud can be pretty good for anchors. Faint sound of activity on the ship from the crew aboard. And with that 22, I think with the various systems that are on and running on the ship, it's interesting. It's not a consistent rumble, not a consistent, like, continuous rumble. There is a sort of pattern to it. One might kind of call it a heartbeat, but it's irregular even in that. Maybe even an arrhythmia.
Yeah, he's already noting that down in his head. Doesn't like that. That is not. Even if that ends up a heartbeat kind of sound ends up becoming a normal sound for the Barker, it shouldn't be irregular.
I think Leon's hit his own small boat at this point and is rowing up to the Barker, where there is a ladder down the side for people to get up and on.
I can already tell you it's gonna take James a minute. A good solid minute.
Leon is impatient. If he gets there first, he's going to wait. And he's going to hold a big paw out.
Oh, God. That's a 1.
Did James just try to do it on his own?
Yeah.
He fucking falls.
He fucking does. Like, he doesn't even. He stretched just a little too much. He didn't row in quite enough. He splashed. Because his hip decided to give out when he tried to stretch it to put one of his feet on the Barker.
Oh, well, Leon's going to reach a big paw out and just try to grab James by the scruff of the neck, lift him up. We're gonna call that gonna pick James up. He's gonna try and just yeet him aboard. Oh yeah.
No. You just yeet your very obviously old brother.
Listen, it gets him aboard. They're toons. James will go like squash and stretch probably. Hand in the water, scruff of the neck close, just like overhand yeet. And James is aboard the Barker. Welcome.
He's just gonna sit there and wait for Leon. because he has something he wants to say, and he's stubborn. And he's old, and now he's wet and grouchy.
Leon actually has to work a bit to get the ladder, apparently, with that tendling effort. It isn't quite like a monkey scramble up. But the thing is, he's a big dog, one of the biggest on the ship. This ladder is constructed for the average size of dog. It's a little small for the captain. The captain is not usually using this ladder to get on and off board. But it's fine. He's up. What's James got to say?
He just looks, you know what, no, he doesn't even look at Leon. He just grumbles sourly. You do know that I can swim, right?
Yeah. I can swim better than any of us, I'll admit that, but don't know how swimming would get you on a ship. Besides,
it's called launching. You ever heard of that? You ever seen a penguin launch themselves out of the water and onto ice? Admittedly, the fails are funny, but cathartic. Unwarranted at best. And now he's standing up, grabbing his cane from his pocket, extending it, and he's walking. Not even gonna ask. You yeeted him on board. He's not gonna ask where to go. He knows.
He knows. These two people are the people that know the layout, the makeup, the whatever of Barker the best. The back of their hands. Or flippers, whatever the case may be.
Indeed. And as he's going, he is letting Leon know. Okay, so first thing I noticed before I even got on board, your ship has a irregular heartbeat. Never heard the heartbeat before, but if that is going to become a normal thing, it shouldn't be irregular. And he's saying that as he's going down towards the engine.
And Leon is following, and he is actually matching James's pace on this. He could easily stride ahead and get there ahead. But yeah. He's matching James's pace. And also glaring out of the way any crew who might look to be even conceivably getting inconveniently in the way of this. All these dogs are spotting that and rightfully hopping to, clearing the way.
I'm actually going to roll an intimidation to see how intimidating this admittedly old and, you know, he does kind of resemble Mobel to an extent in demeanor.
Yeah. Yes!
25!
Yes! More so than Leon. The dogs are used to this from Leon. This is a 2-foot penguin rolling a 25 in intimidation. They're scramming.
Yes! Yes, good. In a situation like this, that is honestly just how he likes it. Less people for him to have to maneuver past. Easier for him to see what the fuck is going on. Makes it easier for him to do his job. And as soon as he gets to the engine room, I'm gonna have him do a perception check first, just to see what the fuck is up, Kyle. 13.
There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot going on, so it makes it a bit of a crowded space. It's, first off, crowded space. Engine room's just off. The majority of it is taken up by a great big honkin' engine. Thing's huge. You know, this ship is built for, you know, ramming speed, shall we say. Gotta be able to go fast.
Yeah.
That essentially is the main feature of them. There's other stuff that's in engine rooms. There's a battery bank. There's tubes and pipes going everywhere in a somewhat confusing jumble for anyone who wouldn't take the time to know. It's some toon logic going on here in various things. There is a section of piping that looks like it's a literal knot. Uh, James probably knows if that's supposed to be the case or not. Who knows?
All right. Maybe.
Probably the other thing here is that the any water collected in the bilge, if he looks down, it's a pretty low level actually.
Mm. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but I know that he would.
Not really good or bad, just more of something to note.
Alright. It is noted in his head, but he is going to move on to the primary reason why they are there. And that is the engine. I don't think... I think for Toonish sakes, he's gonna tap that knotted pipe with his cane and be like, is this always here, or am I just old?
That bit is stubborn. And Leon gives it a small kick, and it stays. Just roll the D2. It stays. It does not spring apart unraveled. He goes, sometimes that works.
Alright, when I said don't give it love, I didn't mean to treat it like Dad does.
Haven't you ever heard of percussive maintenance?
There's a difference between that and, you know what.
Does not comment. Looks forward at the engine, which I realize in my description I'd mentioned it's there, but not really the state it's in. It kind of looks like a hazard, actually, in terms of kind of level of grease and oil. Just first off.
He's gonna comment on that. Point down to it. When was the last time this was cleaned?
3 hours ago.
Really?
I kid you not. That is one of the problems we are having. And it's not even on yet.
Does it get worse when it's on?
That bit, no. That is pretty consistent. Stopping and starting, grinding, and inefficiencies, and no matter how much or the engineer and I tinker, all the tricks I ever learned from June, I cannot get her to run as smooth as she did before this place got ransacked.
Ransacked.
That
Care to elaborate?
Did something, and she has not been the same since. And you're going to fix it.
I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna have him roll his investigation as he is going straight into the heart of this engine.
Oh! Oh, damn.
Got out his tools and everything, and he maneuvers through the freaking tightest squeezes of the engine with ease, because this is his domain.
Yeah.
What does he find?
Inside, finds the engine continues to be kind of gunked up and oily. And it's interesting. Kind of on first pass, it looks like things are in the places they should be. Gears are teething together. Things look fine. The engine is not on, but things look fine, if a bit dirty, but there's fucking 29. James probably just has a sense that something is whack here. There's also, with a 29, James can kind of see evidence of the, as Leon put it, ransacking. There's still evidence of just straight up fire. There was fire here.
He's gonna maneuver
This
his
thing
way.
had been set on fire.
Oh joy! Never good for the internal sides of an engine. So whatever damage was done during that fire, he is going to fix that. And
James is getting where people couldn't, so that's good.
And he's gonna look at the inside parts of, like, the actual insides of the mechanics of the fucking engines. Because, holy shit, this isn't normal. And he's gonna try cleaning as much as he can while using prestidigitation. I'm going to take a guess. Does that not help at all?
It does, but I think even if when James decides himself done on that and starts to wiggle back, you can probably start to see oil again beginning to seep out very slowly. So not a permanent solution.
Can he tell where it is coming from?
James is already pretty up in there, but I'm going to say he can tell, because he's right close to it, that it's coming from whatever the center of this machine would be. It's actually, you know what? Hold on, train of thought. James had noticed earlier that the level of bilge water in this place was low, which is like, just kind of a fact. It's a good thing. You don't necessarily want them to be huge in swimming. But I think he catches, it seems like almost the bilge is low because it's not settling in there, it's settling on the engine, which is weird. That's a weird thing.
That would imply that the bilge water is going up.
That's not how gravity works.
No, it's not. Alright. If he even
Strange
can.
business all around.
Very strange business. He isn't entirely sure what to do in this situation, but he's going to try to fix it. What do you think that would be to try to fix this?
Looking at skills, I also know James does have some levels in Artificer. I don't know if there's like a tool kit. I mean, maybe medicine.
Yeah, honestly,
Or like a proficiency bonus thing.
Yeah, honestly, he doesn't have a lot in terms of anything else he can do outside of that. Like, he's an artificer, yes, but... And he does have the tools. However, this is even out of, I think, his league. This is some weird shit.
Well, there's going to be a kind of knock from outside. Are you done in there?
About as done as I can be. I've expended everything that I can do. And he is going to crawl back out. And I'm assuming that he is absolutely filthy.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of hops down, lands sort of wrong on his knees, gets back up, leans heavier than normal on his cane, but he taps the engine, and he looks at Leon. He looks baffled again. Just like, I don't know what the fuck happened here. But you have bilge water all over that. You said you've been cleaning that. Have you cleaned the engine? How? And
we've been trying to.
You've been trying to. Trying.
Well, you just gave it a clean and you can see it's already. Give it a few hours.
It's like the bilge water is coming up into the engine. I can't fix that.
Oh, okay. So Leon keeps his composure. Being told that.
I don't know what the hell is going on. This wasn't a part of the design. It was never meant to be part of the design. I can't fix that. This is out of my area.
And I guess I need the rat after all. If even you, the great James Judd, can't fix what you've done to my damn boat.
I didn't do shit to your goddamn boat. You were the one that failed to follow my instructions. That is not my fault.
How was I supposed to know I was... huge air quotes. Giving it love. What does that mean? I've just been sailing her.
Have you been keeping up maintenance? Have you been talking to her at night, even? You know, some sailors do that. I know Mobel did.
There is a look on Leon Mobel's face like he has taken a big bite of lemon parmesan and has not been able to keep up the bit.
Have you been treating her like a person and not a ship?
Every person does that to their ship. It's the thing. That's why ships are she. That's the ship is your lifeline in the inhospitable sea. Everyone is like this to their ship. So why are your ships doing this?
They're already infused with magic. You do understand that love is the greatest magic of all. And it is one that we cannot control.
Made a mess of the Barker is what it's done. And I
told you not to
find
do
a
it.
way to fix it.
I told you not to do it. This is on you. You failed to follow my instructions.
What kind of instruction is that?
Very clear instructions, I think. You know, I know that you're not the brains of the family, but damn!
Okay. Fist thuds against the wall. I know I'm not, but you know what I think? You weren't exactly the brains either. I bet June could have fixed this. I wouldn't have needed you at all.
You know, you're right. I'm not June, and thank God for that. You're not the only one that misses her.
So, fine. Fine. Magic or whatever created this problem, or indirectly, there was a rat. She ran fine while the rat was here before that, and then it ran off, and now things are wrong. So I need to track that down.
So she gave you a rat, is what you're saying. She produced a rat out of nothing.
Crawled out of there. Points at the bilge.
And that's when it clicks. And his flipper is just pinching the bridge of his beak. You know, when I said to explain, I meant to explain everything.
Have I not?
You didn't tell me that the rat came from the bilge.
Leo just kind of throws his hands up in the air, like, what do you want from him?
Leon.
He thought he was being perfectly clear.
James looks at him, gestures to the bilge, gestures to that, and to wherever, you know, to the rest of the ship, because there's no rat here. Bilge rat. There is bilge in the fucking engine, dumbass. Are you not able to why did it take me telling you this? For you to put together. Oh my god. I hate this fucking family.
Immediately, I'm just imagining them as kids. All right, that's enough. You're on timeout. Get on top of the fridge. Get up there. This house is a fucking her.
Because that has been James's mood when it comes to this goddamn family for God knows how long. He's exasperated. He doesn't know what else to say after that.
Listen, yes, the connection is obvious, but I don't want it back on board. I never wanted it. I don't want it here. It already tried to destroy the damn ship. If I can get Barker fixed without it, that's the ideal. But since you, apparently, can do nothing.
I mean, I fixed whatever damage that it caused. But,
we'll see how she runs.
Yeah, go ahead and turn around.
Yep, Leon's doing that. There's just a button, big red button on the wall. As you do, presses it. Boop. And
putting a dent in the damn
Barker,
ship. He's gonna rub that out.
Barker comes to life with a guttering rumble and James, that a rhythmic pattern is even more pronounced here. She's running. She's not like doing a stop start like Leon was kind of complaining about earlier. But there's that irregularity.
He's just rubbing the back of his neck and down to like the front of his chin, because what the fuck? Because here's the thing, I'm pretty sure that James can figure out on his own that, this rat is a toon person. This rat was probably not treated well aboard the ship.
Yeah. You know, putting two and two together.
He doesn't want whoever this kid is to have to go back to the ship. And he's contemplating.
Oh?
He can build another. It's not like he doesn't have the means to do so. Problem is, would Leon take it? Leave the Barker with her. Or with him.
I feel like James probably knows his brother well enough to, for that to be a resounding no.
He was lost and thought he didn't understand what you meant.
That was just me commenting that, like, James knows Leon well enough to, yeah, pretty well assume the answer, that line of thought is going to be a big, huge no. Thank you for your kind services, dear brother, but I think you've done all you can do here.
You're not going to go after that rat entirely, are you?
Ever since it showed up, it's been the only thing that can make this ship run like she used to. So yes, I'm going to need to find it, which has been a little tricky since the trail ran cold not even far from here off the coast of Ghibli. Looks like it hopped on some voyage that hasn't been heard from for a while. My damn luck, that ship is also sank. But
and what do you intend to do with this rat once you get it back?
It's going to fix my ship. And if that means it just has to stay here like it was supposed to in the first place, then that's that.
See, now James is contemplating many different things. Many thoughts running through this very intelligent brain of his. What if I stayed here then? I would have to bring Janet on board. But they would be with me. I do my best to make sure that they're not in trouble. And I work on the engine so that you can focus on what you need to do. I'll be here, help you look for the rat. See if I can help him fix it so that he can be free. And you don't have to deal with him when he gets back.
A generous offer, brother mine.
I know, I was feeling it. I was feeling real generous today when I woke up. More specifically, when you burst through my door.
I didn't have to burst through. You answered it. You'd taken a minute longer, I would have. But
Sorry.
see, here's the thing. When I find this rat, it doesn't matter if you're here, it's still not going anywhere. It's a part of Barker. It wasn't supposed to leave in the first place, even if it is vermin on my ship. It's still Barker and therefore still mine. And staying here.
And this is the point where I have to roll deception. Actually, can I argue that it's performance?
Yeah, go for it. Woo!
Yay! Nobody sees anything. Not fucking Leon certainly doesn't fucking see it. There was a distinct twitch of the corner of his mouth. He does not like that insinuation. He does not trust Leon when it. Nobody asked you. Sorry, that was the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
and he's well aware that this rat is a person. So, like, there are some feelings that he has about this. You know, he's kind of insistent that he wants to stay aboard and maybe smuggle the rat out if he can sever the ties. This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
He definitely doesn't have any intent of doing any of that, as far as Leon is concerned.
Well, Leon's gonna chew this over. He's got his own thoughts going on.
You know, it'd be a lot easier for you to focus on finding the rat with me being down here in the engines. I might not know exactly what's going on in terms of what's going on with the rat. However, nobody knows this engine better than you or me.
And this is true. Leon's gonna hold out a big paw to shake.
James is gonna hold out his flipper and shake.
Hold on, are we doing the pinky promise?
Is that what? Because I honestly don't think that James can with the whole flipper going on.
Yeah. Well, not every toon has fingers, or arms, or hands. Yeah, it's the spirit of the thing.
Is that what Leon is basically insinuating?
Me, the player, having remembered that pinky promises are a thing. You know what? Yeah. He started out with a simple handshake, but he's gonna go for the pinky instead. Go. You are going to help me fix my ship. However you can.
Mm-hmm. And he's just waiting for him to continue.
I, in turn, will house you and your son.
Alright.
Does James have anything to add on to that, or are they just going for it?
That is vague enough that James is honestly comfortable, but I think he will add on until the Barker is either fixed or destroyed completely. Let's hope it doesn't become the latter.
It won't. I won't let it be. And Jane, you can grab onto Leon's pinky, and that will be a pinky promise.
He's going to. They shake. Yes.
Yeah.
I think James goes and gets Janet after this.
Or James toddles entirely out of the room to go collect Janet. Leon is just going to look at James, look at the engine, take out his great axe, and take a swing at said engine.
What?
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll damage.
No! Ah!
So by far not the worst it could have been. But listen, Leon has 2 attacks.
Go. Oh! Way to piss off your little brother.
And you know what? Just for completeness sake, he's going to action surge because this guy's a fighter.
I hate it. You know
3
what?
big, hearty chops. What? And now you have something to work on since you did me the kindness of doing the best you could right here. And now you'll have some work to do.
You know what? He's gonna cash vicious mockery. You are a grade A asshole that will forever live in Father's shadow. You realize this, yes? Displaying the anger like that, like you just did, will never put you above that.
That's a whiz save, right?
One moment while I look. That is a whiz save.
Yeah,
that
you get
fails.
him. I think an 8 is pretty bad.
Yeah? Alright.
Leon flinches and he snarls.
Reach 5th. Alright, so that is 2d4. 2d4 plus what? I think that's plus 9.
Hey.
That's already 13 psychic damage to this dog.
The flinch, the snarl, and points out of the entrance. Go get your damn kid.
Get your axe out of the goddamn engine.
He does. Yanks it out.
And he is now pissed off, so I'm gonna roll intimidation with advantage. Because he is stomping. This tiny little blue penguin is stomping to go grab his kid.
These dogs are once again diving out of the way of this penguin.
I will say James is surprisingly gentle with his kid, considering his behavior so far. So my guess is that nobody would have expected that he would actually be a good dad to an extent. He tries. Definitely not the greatest, but yeah.
There's an effort made.
Yep.
Listen, he gets the gold you tried star, Leon gets the I don't think he even tried at all star.
And do you have any, anything else that you wanted to?
That about wraps things up, I think, but James has stomped off to go collect Janet. Leon has pulled the axe out of the engine. And I think the last thing he does go. And I hope it felt that. And I think that's probably where we can end it off.
Ah!
All right, thank you for Brother in Arms, everybody.
Yep. I'm gonna stop the recording so I can scream.